Hi, my name is Avery Hicks. I want to thank you for joining us today. My background is I've been in the auto industry for over 25 years, helping salesmen and managers be successful. And one of the things over the course of the 25 years that I understood that was real important was the mindset. Having a winning mindset, having a game plan, being able to put down action items in order to be successful. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about today is what's called intentional mindset. What that is having a game plan for every day of what you're wanting to do. And how do you get that intentional mindset? Is by finding out about your strengths and weaknesses. And so we have a program to where we have what's called personality assessment testing, which tells you exactly what your strengths and weaknesses are, but it allows you the opportunity to be able to communicate with all the behavior styles out there so that you can better have an opportunity to earn their business. Now, another thing that we have that we're going to talk about today is what's called Get You Ready On. I'm real passionate about Get You Ready On. It's about being motivated, inspired, prepared, and ready to take on the challenges that life throws at us every day. When the time comes, when the moment arises, and it depends on you, will you be ready? Get You Ready On. Intentional mindset, understanding who you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, so that you can go out there every day and attack it and be the best version of yourself that you can be. Now, obviously, why would I be telling you this? Because I've been there. I've had the situations to where my mind wasn't right. I've had the situations where I wasn't the best version of myself. And I've had that situation where I actually quit. And so I want to tell you a little story about myself so that you might have a good idea exactly what I'm talking about. And it may resonate with you and it may not. But for me, it's my story. And it kind of starts when I was 16, 17 years old. And I've always been an advocate of sports. I love football, played it all my life. But I got to the point to where I started to gain a little bit more weight than I should have. And when I was 16, 17 years old, going into my junior year, I decided I didn't want to play anymore. I wasn't sure why. I knew I was overweight, but my mind told me it's not the time. Football came too soon. 2-a-days, hot. Wasn't ready for it. And so I decided that, I was going to quit. But by the grace of God, I had a coach by the name of Herm Colvin who kept coming back to the house and getting me out of the basement and said, hey, let's go to practice. You need to work your way through it. It was a challenge for me, and I didn't do well. I ended up quitting football my junior year. Felt very ashamed of it. Didn't like the fact of it, but I couldn't face anybody. My parents were disappointed in me. My older brother was disappointed in me, but it was just something that I had to take on myself. And so by the time the very first football game came around, I realized that I'd made a mistake. And I started talking to myself saying, hey, you need to get ready for next year. You need to start putting in a game plan for what you're going to do next year. And so at that particular time, I decided that, hey, I'm going to play next year and I'm going to get in shape. When the end of the year came around, I had a chance to talk to Herm Colvin, and he asked me one question point blank, and he says, are you coming back out for football? And I said, yes, sir, I'm coming out. He says, well, here's the game plan. What do you weigh right now? And I was like, well, 245, 250. And he says, well, here's the bullet. If you're not anything more than 225, don't show up. I said, okay. And he says, no, I'm serious. If you weigh over 225, don't show up. And I said, I'll be ready, coach. And it was the first time that I ever had to stand in front of somebody and tell them that, yes, I'm going to be here. But when I walked away, doubt set in. See, I told myself to get in shape, but I didn't quantify with any number. And now here I'm telling myself that I got to lose 25 pounds in order to get to the team. Not make the team, don't know what my position is going to be, but I needed to lose 25 pounds. But by the grace of God, I had two good friends. And those good friends stood by me that summer. And as we started working out, I started getting in shape. And the more I got in shape, the more my mind got ready for what needed to happen. And so when I showed up for football, showed up for camp, first thing you do, you weigh in, you get your pads. I get on the scales, I'm 205. I lost 45 pounds that summer. My mind was right, my body was right, I was ready for action. The only thing I didn't expect is that They didn't trust me anymore. They didn't believe in me anymore. I quit on them. I understood it. My father had told me, he says, when you quit on people, sometimes they're going to not exactly welcome you back. And believe me, I wasn't welcome back. But Coach Herm kept inspiring me. He kept telling me, hey, you come here and you do your job, and everything will take care of itself. And every day I showed up and I did my job through those 2 days, but nothing wasn't happening. Matter of fact, I started to get a little frustrated. I was so far down on the depth chart, I wasn't even on the depth chart anymore. There was 4 or 5 people ahead of me. I knew I was better than them, but it wasn't moving the board. And finally, one day, I'm looking at the board one day, and Coach Herm comes by me, and he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at this board, and I'm not moving. And he says, there's an opportunity on this board. You're just not seeing it. You got your negative mind going on now. That's why you're not seeing an opportunity. And as he kept saying that, I started to think, why is he telling me this? Because I'm not seeing it. Well, we had 2 scrimmages before the year began. We had 2 scrimmages, a purple scrimmage and a silver scrimmage. And I remember the first night when we had the scrimmage, obviously the first teamers go out. I'm kind of what you might call the meat squad. And I remember Coach Herm telling me in the back of my ear, opportunity meets success. And when I got on the field, I finally realized what he was talking about. Because here I was facing the starters. And after that first scrimmage, I found myself moving up the 3rd string. I was excited about it, but that wasn't the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal was to get to the top. We had another scrimmage, had a successful scrimmage. Beginning of the year, I'm starting. No questions asked. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my mindset. When my mind is right and I have a strategy and a game plan and I execute it, I'm good. Most of us do not have a game plan, and therefore to be successful is going to be real difficult. And as the months went on, I remember bumping into Coach Herm at the end of the season, and I said, hi, how you doing? He says, hey, you getting ready for college? I said, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, getting ready to do some big, good things. And he says, what if I told you a story? What if I told you I deliberately put your name at the bottom of the depth chart? And I was like, well, why would you do that, Coach? He says, remember I asked you a year ago what you wanted to do, and you couldn't come up with any game plan. So I wasn't sure if you were going to stay, because they did throw a lot at you. You had a lot of challenges. A lot of coaches didn't want you here, but you stayed anyway, and you made it happen. So what if I did do that? I was like, well, Coach, if you did, there ain't anything I can do about it. But it worked out well. What'd you think? And I remember he said this to me. It doesn't matter what I think, but the Omaha World Herald today has voted you first team defensive tackle. Now, what do you think when you put your mind to it? And so I want to let you know this. No matter what endeavors you're taking on today, what challenges are going through, whether you're trying to be an athlete playing in front of 60,000 people, you want to be a doctor and you got your team, you're getting ready, your teacher speaking to your classrooms, or even parents bringing home your firstborn. This much I know, you're not ready for the game until you get your ready on. And here, I want you to join us. I want you to follow us because we got some more exciting things coming out. I've got my information up here. My name Avery Hicks. I can be reached at 405-295-4022. I have an Instagram account, Avery L. Hicks. Instagram account at Get You Ready On. And then Facebook at Get You Ready On. And then obviously, averyhicks.com. You can go there. You can book an appointment. Love to have a consultation with you. Love to talk about the DISC assessment. How you find out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and how we can work with you to enhance both of those to give you a fulfilling life. And then most importantly, change your mindset so that you can get what you deserve. Thanks for joining us today. You have a blessed day.